What's up, young bucks, old goats? What's going on, fellas?
What up? What up?
What's going on?
What's up, man? We're here, episode 145, world's most underground podcast. We're going to talk a little Dolphin football. We're going to make some picks. There's some shit going on in outer space today I want to talk about. Like, there's some stuff from Halley's Comet you're supposed to see at 1 a.m. You guys hear about this?
No.
You guys hear? Why are you laughing at me, dude?
I was just thinking that we barely got this thing launched.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about shit in outer space. I can barely turn on this computer here, but there's also Tank. Maybe you can look into this when you get a chance. I just saw it briefly on the social media. NASA picked 16 experts, I guess, to do like a 9-month study on UAPs, formerly known as UFOs. I hate that they changed the name of that, by the way. But
that's
anyways,
just to confuse you.
Exactly. But I don't know if you heard about that they're going to be doing. So that should be interesting. But, of course, the big news for Miami football fans is Tua's back on Sunday.
Is he?
Yeah. You knew this, didn't you?
Well, I mean, yeah. But are we counting the time that he gets to the stadium and gets off and goes to the locker room, or the time he plays in the game?
Are you insinuating that he's not going to complete the game?
Let me tell you.
What would lead you to believe that?
Let me tell you something. That offensive line, there's not too many quarterbacks that can finish behind that offensive line.
Especially that guy's still out, right? Armstead.
I think they may get everybody back just because they know if they don't, Tua will be out.
Didn't the quarterback for the Steelers have a concussion last week?
Yeah, everybody has a concussion.
But there was no cry to not let him play though, right? Bum, did you just come from a party? I see you with a solo cup. Yeah, it's gold. It's a little more it's a little bit more sophisticated and flashy, but it's still a solo cup.
It is, and it wasn't necessarily a party, but it was a homecoming football game. Yes.
Oh, that's right. And they won, right? Shout out to McCarthy Mavericks.
Yeah.
Shout out to them. They won their homecoming game 21-14 against
a team dressed in white and green.
Are they even a real team, or did they just hire some people to throw that game so they could win their homecoming game?
They do have enough budget to be able to hire maybe a peewee team and beat them. Yes.
Yes, those may have been actors, so they can.
Yes.
Is that the first game they win all year?
No, I think I went to another game where they won.
Okay, because I know they were not.
They're not known for their football. I'll leave it at that.
Yes, I won't go any further either. I have other commentary I could say off the record, but I'm not going to say it here.
Yeah.
Let's just say, let's just leave it at that. Let's leave it at that. Flores is back in town.
Cheers,
gentlemen. Cheers, everybody out there in cyberspace. So, anyways, back to the thing. At 1 a.m., supposed to be a good time to look up and see a lot of shooting stars. And it's some dust that Halley's Comet, which I'm surprised I'm hearing about Halley's Comet. Remember what a big deal that was in the 80s? Oh, my God, you're going to see it once every 80-something years. But we're not actually seeing the comet, but apparently this is some dust that was caused by the comet. You may want to fact check me on that. I don't know. That's what I heard.
What is it? Every 76 years it comes by?
It's in the neighborhood of 80. I don't know the exact. I mean, I guess potentially, not you, Bum. I could potentially see it again.
It's saying it'll be back in 2061.
All right, so 2061 is 39 years from now, I mean, I could get, I don't know, maybe I get to 82. I mean,
Damn.
the bum's not getting to fucking 120, bro. He's not gonna reach 120 to see that thing. So
They just killed me off like a bad soap opera.
let's be realistic here. You know, I think the world record is like 119 years old for a human or something. You'd have to break records to reach it.
And that's somebody who ate just grass every day. You got it.
Yeah. So Minkah Fitzpatrick is back in town. Flores is back in town. I wonder how that dynamic is. Flores with Fitzpatrick there as soon as he got to the Steelers. That must be awkward, right? Because he kind of, I guess they butted heads, and that's why he had to leave.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess. But, man, that was one of the worst deals for the Dolphins, definitely.
Tank, can you pull that up?
What?
That trade, the Minkah Fitzpatrick trade. What's up, Danny? What the fuck are you saying, bro?
Skull Vikes.
Is that in some other language that he's talking?
I think that's from House Targaryen.
Oh, he might be a few bourbons in, this guy. I know him, or a few scotches in, so he may have been trying to write something else. I don't know. You guys were lucky Tua didn't play. That's why the Vikings won. Yeah, I wanted to see the results, like maybe Minkah Fitzpatrick trade revisited. I think all the draft picks were busts that we got out of that trade.
Well, I
They
think we only have one left. Austin Action Jackson.
What's this guy's name? Austin Inaction Jackson or Inactive Jackson?
Yes.
Oh God, he's not the bone marrow guy, right?
Wow, the bone marrow guy.
There's a guy who that we drafted that like donated like most of his bone marrow or something. Do you remember?
I got the trade.
Why do we have those guys?
What do you got there? What do you got there, Tank? Danny, stop trolling us, dude.
So the Steelers got Minkah, then a draft pick, a fourth rounder, Kevin Dotson, and then last year they got a seventh round Trey Norwood, a cornerback, and then the Dolphins. The Dolphins got in 2020. They got Austin Jackson,
first round.
Yeah, first round.
This is also the Tua draft and the Ibn not playing guy, cornerback, right?
I'm playing.
That's got to be the worst 3 draft picks for having 3 first.
The fifth rounder was a DE, Jason Stobridge, who waived after 1 season.
Wow, we waived him.
He's a free agent.
Yeah, but that guy was what, like a 3rd round pick, or what was that guy?
5th.
Okay, 5th. All right, whatever. What did we got 3 first round picks, right? For Minkah or 2?
Correct. We got a 1st, a 5th, and a 6th.
Oh God, we didn't even get that much, dude.
No.
Who the hell did we get with that 6th? A fucking janitor or something?
They traded the 6th round pick to Kansas City in exchange for a 21 7th round pick and running back DeAndre Washington. Which I don't think he's in the team anymore.
No, we traded him, I think.
Washington played in 3 games in 2020, gained 86 yards, no score, has since disappeared into thin air.
But not for us, right? That guy didn't play for us, did he?
He played, I think, a little for us.
Yeah, 3 games.
So who did we end up drafting with that 7th round pick?
That 7th rounder, number 258, was then sent to Washington football team along with former number 9 overall pick offensive lineman Eric Flowers for a 7th round selection.
And what did we do with that one?
That pick turned into running back Jareed Dokes.
Oh my God.
Who was cut by the Dolphins 4 months after drafting him.
Dude, this is like, those shell corporations that they create?
Yeah.
Like,
hey, hold on. He would be re-signed to the practice squad the next day.
So we still have him.
Yeah,
There's hope. I don't think he's
After-
still on the practice squad. No, this guy.
Nah, he was good. Flowers started all 16 games for Washington at guard. 258 turned into wide receiver. Dax Milne, who played 13 games with 1 star in the nation's capital. He caught 9 passes. He is still on Washington's roster.
There's no one recognizable in this draft.
On the bright side for Miami, it made them realize how bad head coach Brian Flores was for the team.
How about Greer, the guy making these deals? That guy gets a lot of that guy gets like a free pass, dude.
No, it's almost like they only remember his good picks and not his bad picks.
Okay, by the way, Skull Vikings, I guess, is their little chant that they do.
When they attack.
You're saying, yeah, or capitulate, depending on the game.
He's talking about the Vikings. He's a Vikings fan, right? Or he's a Lions fan?
This guy's like a Vikings Titans fan.
Titans.
I have no respect for that.
It says it will go down as one of the worst trades in NFL history.
I don't know about that. The Herschel Walker trade is far worse just because they gave up way more capital.
It was for sure one of the worst completed in season when there was still things to play for.
Yeah, I think it's pretty hard to match up with that Herschel Walker trade, right, Bum?
I don't know, but did at least one player come out of there that was kind of good?
Well, Herschel Walker was traded, I think, mostly just for those picks. I don't remember who else was included in that.
But all the picks became great players.
Right. I'm saying that the trade was terrible for the Vikings.
No, I got it. But I'm saying the picks were good. Like
Of
this
course,
trade.
that created
trade,
the Cowboys dynasty.
But you could have said that this trade wouldn't have been bad if we had like some great players come out of it, right?
Yes, but it's terrible for us because we gave up, like an all-pro player.
But only because what we got back was nothing.
Yes, of
So
course.
far, right?
Yes, but
Yeah,
still,
I mean, if we would have gotten Justin Jefferson and I don't know, Jamar Chase or something, nobody would have ever been talking about this. But the fact that we, didn't get anything, not even like a player that is serviceable, not even like a starter.
well, look up the even though now that he got the PD suspension, it doesn't look so bad. But this Easterby guy, I don't know if he pushed for it. Certainly, the Hopkins trade. That was a pretty fucking bad trade, bro. They got David Johnson, who I think that guy's like working at a gas station now, and like not a very good draft pick. Can you look that one up, Tank? The DeAndre Hopkins trade, what that was all about? What I'm saying is that Herschel Walker trade is like the worst trade of all time because they totally gave up all their future. I don't remember the exact cachet of fucking picks, but it was bad, dude. And no, Danny, I'm not interested in watching any more Vikings home or road games here in Miami. Okay?
Wow, if he's into the Titans and the Vikings, he's into people wearing like helmets and swords, huh?
Yeah. And not hoisting up championship trophies also, I guess he must be a fan of.
Yeah.
It says it pretty much cost them a 4th rounder.
Cost who?
Arizona.
Okay. Because they didn't want David
a second
Johnson.
pick, a 2nd round pick, and a 4th rounder.
Well, if you look, was that guy Easterby associated with the Jeremy Tunsil trade too?
That I'm not sure.
Because I don't think that was too good for them.
No. Even though that Tunsil guy's been good, though, right?
No, he's good, but based on what they gave up, I mean, that trade was better for us than it was for them.
Yeah, but again, that's like doing a forensics investigation because we got picks and then we turn around and trade. We had a good position and then we traded them for worse position. What I'm convinced of is if we look at the I want to look at this. Let me pull it up. The 2020 draft, which is the one we're talking about here, kind of, which is the one where we got Tua, we got Austin inactive Jackson, and then Igam. But I don't, if I don't know how to spell your name after 3 years, you're not playing enough, dude. I watched a lot of these games. I should be able to pronounce or spell your name. I still don't know how to say this guy's name.
Ibenawi?
Okay. He's been out of the game. Well, now he's playing a little bit.
He's been in Onawi.
All right. So, we got Tua. Obviously, Herbert is probably where we should have gone there. Then we picked again at number 18. Let's see who was picked after him. I mean, Justin Jefferson is, obviously this is hindsight's 2020. You could have even gotten Brandon Ayuk, but of course you got to be looking for a running back at that point. I'm sorry, a receiver at that point if you're going there, but Patrick Queen's a pretty good linebacker. I would rather have him probably. And then here's Igbenogini. T. Higgins was drafted right after him. And then we had, this was almost like having 4 first-rounders, dude. We drafted Robert Hunt. What's the story with this guy?
I think he's still playing. But he's hurt.
So this is the dude, we haven't got much out of these guys, dude.
You know what bothers me more about that whole Igbenogwy thing, and I don't know if I'm saying this right.
We had 2 of the best corners in the NFL.
Okay, but I don't know. Bring up where that guy was rated as a corner, just as a corner. Was he one of the top corners?
I don't know. You would have been better off getting like Antoine Winfield here at safety.
Okay, I'm just saying.
It's Trayvon Diggs, bro.
I'm just saying, like let's say that guy was the top corner. Then it makes sense. But I think if you look at it, he was a reach at corner.
It never made sense to me because we already had 2 great corners.
Okay, so again, let me explain. If you're already good at corner, and if you're going to make another pick at corner and you're going to reach, that's really bad.
Right.
Because if you would have gone to corner and gotten, let's say, like another X-Man or another number 1 corner, okay, then you could kind of rationalize it. But if that was a stretch, if you got the 11th corner on the board, that was really a bad decision.
No, like if you got Trayvon Diggs, okay, fuck, we got Trayvon Diggs, dude.
Right.
Shit, we were backed into a corner. He was there. We had to take him. We didn't really want a corner. Yeah, we didn't really want him, but he was there.
But where was this guy rated?
I don't know. I know where he's rated now, and that's like he was not even playing behind 2 undrafted rookies.
So if you would have told me that guy was the top corner at the time, I could maybe swallow it. But the fact that maybe he was a reach, that no one even had him on the radar, and you still picked him in a position of strength, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah. And look at Jalen Hurts here with the 53rd pick. I'd rather have him than Tua. And they got him in late 2nd round. Let's say you don't get Herbert. Who do you get? If you don't get Herbert and you wait for Hurts, obviously this is all hindsight 2020. I guess you want to avoid Henry Ruggs. But what if Henry Ruggs then comes to Miami and then he doesn't kill somebody in Las Vegas? Hey, alternate reality. Jerry Jeudy. Who would you have gotten? Maybe you trade out of that pick. That's what, like, imagine, you got a draft guy like that, that's that smart. That's like, what? Fuck the 5th pick. We'll trade out of it. Give me 2 more picks. And guess what? We're gonna get Hurts in the 2nd round. And we're gonna get an extra pick or 2.
I got the 23 worst trades here.
Let's hear
In NFL history?
Yeah.
All right, let's do maybe the top 5.
Well, they're not in order. They're chronological.
All right, give us like a handful, 10 maybe.
30.
Alright. In 74, the Packers acquired John Haddle for 5 draft picks.
This is your era bum. I don't know.
76, Oilers trade Steve Largent for 8th round pick.
That was a major bumbling.
Then
The
in
Seahawks got him for an 8th round pick.
Yeah.
From who? Who was that idiot?
the Oilers. The Oilers
okay.
trade.
Okay.
Falcons trade.
That's why
Brett
they're not
Favre
around
for
anymore.
a 1st round pick.
Oh no, that's actually Danny's team now, the Titans. What was that last one, Tank? Sorry.
That the Falcons trade Brett Favre for a 1st round pick.
At least they got a 1st rounder. I wonder what they got out of that 1st round.
Let me see if it says 1 year later. Yeah.
Andre
It doesn't say.
Bruce.
In 83, Colts trade John Elway to Denver.
So they drafted him and he never played there?
No.
In 87, Bucks trade Steve Young to San Francisco.
Also, like, he was not who he became at that point. You know? He sat on the bench for a while. And then he became great later. But yes, that in hindsight, it looks like a terrible.
And now in 1990, the Herschel Walker trade. 1990, Colts trade up for Jeff George.
Do they say any details on that Herschel Walker trade?
Says Jimmy Johnson set up the Cowboys dynasty with an unbelievable trade in 1990. Moving star running back Herschel Walker and 4 draft picks to Minnesota for 5 players, 3 1st round picks, 3 2nd round picks, a 3rd round pick, and a 6th round pick. Walker played only 2 seasons in Minnesota, failing to rush to 1,000 yards in either campaign.
Dude, who
And now he's running for senator.
who was smoking that crack, and how much of it did they have when they did that trade? Like, that's unheard of. Like 3 1st rounders, some 2nd rounders, some 3rd rounders. Jesus.
And 5 players.
I bet that guy didn't work in the NFL long. Whoever that was. By the way, I think Brett Favre led the Packers to back-to-back Super Bowls, carrying the Vikings deep into the postseason. With all of this trade seemed like one of the worst. After all, the 19th overall pick, which was used to select Tony Smith. I'm not even sure I know who Tony Smith is. That's who the Falcons got.
No.
So there you go.
Then in 95, Bengals trade up for Key John Carter. 96.
Mike Lynn is the name of the GM in Minnesota.
That guy was pretty revered.
Years before the trade, I'm assuming.
Generally, yeah.
What year was the trade made?
90.
That's the last year he was GM. He went to the World League of American Football as their president after that, and then he actually came back as executive vice president through 92 and became a minority owner. But
yeah, it's not like he just appeared.
No, but that was 92, and then after that, that was it. When did this guy die? Who killed him? Somebody probably killed him. No, he died in 2012, age 76. Yeah, it says here he dealt what eventually turned into 5 players and 8 draft picks for Herschel Walker. The 3 they netted Emmitt Smith, Darren Woodson, Russell Maryland, 3 Super Bowl rings. Walker averaged less than 81 yards a game. Jesus Christ. That to me is a battle. Is there any more? Tank?
Yeah. 96, the Rams trade Sean Gilbert to acquire first round pick, and it was Lawrence Phillips.
Oh my God, who was a big time bum and ended up dying in jail.
He died?
Lawrence Phillips?
Yeah.
I think he did. Could you check that?
Because remember that we also had Cecil Collins who went to jail too.
I may be confusing those.
I'm not sure.
I thought Lawrence Phillips died in prison.
You could be right. One of them killed their cellmate.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking. Maybe he didn't die. He killed somebody else.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
Lawrence Phillips did die in 2016, though.
Oh, dang.
Oh, yeah, in prison. Yeah, in prison, it says.
Okay.
Did he also kill his cellmate? And I think Cecil Collins still in jail? Let me look that up while we're at it. Cecil Collins liked to sneak in and watch ladies sleep was his thing, right? And that guy looked like he was going to be a decent running back, right?
Yeah, he was actually really good.
He's still alive.
He did kill his cellmate, yeah.
Who? Lawrence or Cecil?
No, Lawrence Phillips.
There you go.
Wait, it says that Phillips' cellmate, Damian Soward, the cousin of a former NFL wide receiver,
Wow.
R.J. Soward. That's crazy.
Sounds familiar.
They're both NFL players.
So the guy he killed was the cousin of an NFL player?
Yeah. He was the cousin of an NFL player.
On December 16, 1990, Collins committed burglary in Palm Trace Landings, an apartment complex in Davie. He admitted that he broke into the home of a married woman that he knew from the gym, but said he only wanted to watch her sleep. After conviction on the charge, he was sentenced to 15 years in prison on March 2001 and released on May 1, 2013. Holy shit, dude. They fucking threw the book at him, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not in favor of what he did, but I think we've seen people get far less for far worse.
Phillips was a suicide.
Yes, I believe I remember that now.
And Najee Davenport used to like to crap in people's closets, right?
He did crap in somebody's hamper in their closets. Do you remember Cecil Collins' nickname?
The Diesel.
Cecil the Diesel. Hell yeah. But we only had that guy for like part of 1 year.
6 seconds.
He played 8 games for us.
Wow, I wouldn't even have thought that.
Yeah, 400 yards, couple of touchdowns, few receptions, 99. We had like a revolving door of running backs during that time. Then we had like the JJ Johnson, Bernie Parmalee,
Irving Abdul-Jabbar,
Irving Spikes, all these kind of different.
John Avery.
That was a first round bust.
Yeah.
From Jimmy, I believe. He fell in love with that guy, and then that guy at best was like a return man.
Hey, Ricky Williams is on this list.
As a worst trade?
Yeah, the Saints traded up to get him.
Yes.
And he only played 3 seasons with them. They gave a first, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh in 99 and a first and third in 2000.
You know, I don't know about that because he was a really good player for them.
No, but the original one, like where they moved up in the draft and Mike Ditka took a picture of him in a wedding dress.
Yes.
That was pretty bad.
I can't see something being one of the worst trades of all time if the guy ends up being like, the guy's.
But he wasn't theirs.
Well, he was. They decided to trade him later. I don't remember what we gave up for that guy.
I think that's the point of that, is that even on the second go round, they even got less for him.
Oh, of course. Because he was kind of having issues with them. And
Dolphins trade Wes Walker.
That was pretty bad.
Only because of what he became later. I don't even know what we got for him. Probably nothing. Did we trade him or did he just go?
He traded from Miami to New England in 2007 for 2nd and 7th round picks.
Actually, at that moment, we got a pretty good deal for him, right? Like
Or-
what he had.
Or it looked like a very good deal. Except he exceeded his own potential. Oh, wow. Tank, what happened to Randy?
Nah, he's back.
Okay.
I'm on the Wi-Fi, dude, so I apologize in advance. Yeah, at the moment of that trade, for what Wes Welker was, it was decent, you know. We didn't know he was going to become what he became. What else you got on that list?
Raiders acquire Antonio Brown for 2 draft picks.
Oh, that was a bad one. That was a bad one because they had to cut him right away.
And the latest one is the Hopkins trade. They got Trubisky on here too. The Bears. A first, a third, a fourth, and a third in the 2018 to move up just one spot to get Trubisky.
Wow, that guy
They
sucks.
bypassed Mahomes and Deshaun Watson.
That guy
I know,
sucks
but everybody-
so bad.
Everybody buy. He won't suck if he plays on Sunday. I'll tell you that.
Like, what?
Although Pickett's supposed to start, right?
He cleared concussion protocol.
Mm. Yeah, Trubisky sucks. That's for sure. By the way, Tank, you were 5-9 last week. I was 6-8. For the season, you're 41-47, and I am 34-55, which is fucking pathetic. Again, I'm gonna pick one more week, and then I might stop doing this after this week. You guys want to pick these games?
Yeah.
I'll let you guys pick since you got something going.
Apparently, we don't have something going. Is the problem? I also got the Thursday night game wrong. Tank got that one right. So let's see.
Looks like Tank's kind of picking this. He's starting to figure this thing out, huh?
Well, he's almost 500, so
All right. Well, that's better than under 500.
it's. Thank you. It's it's a coin. Got to bring the coin back.
You guys pick the games. It'll be a time for me to refill my drink.
Okay. Let's see. Let me share the screen. Do I got it up, so to speak?
Yeah.
There. All right.
That's what she said.
All righty. We got the Lions at the Cowboys. Cowboys are favored by 6.5. I guess this is the return of Dak Prescott.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take the Cowboys, dude.
I'll take the Lions. Their games have been close.
I think the Lions are one of the top scoring teams. The only problem is that their defense also gives up the most points.
So Jared Goff is having a decent season.
I don't know what his stats are, but I think almost all the Detroit games have been, except the one against the Patriots, they've put up a ton of points and either won or lost, but
He has
They put
11
up
touchdowns already.
Didn't the Patriots shut them out?
yeah.
Yes, that was his first game without a touchdown.
Okay. The 5-1 Giants at the Jaguars here. And,
How about the New York teams?
yeah, both looking pretty.
All
All three.
The Bills.
Buffalo, Giants, and the Jets.
Yep, that's a curveball. I forget that the Bills are a New York team. At a moment, the Florida teams were all in first place, but we've kind of gone in the shitter. The last 3 games, all the Florida teams really kind of, and then these New York teams have been scorching hot.
Actually,
anyways,
I think last week all 3 of the Florida teams lost.
Yes, somehow the Jaguars are favored in this game. I don't know why. Why are the Jaguars favored in this game?
I think people keep picking against the Giants, man, but somehow.
What if they get Beckham back, dude? Wouldn't that be something? I'm taking the Giants, dude. I think they made a mistake here. Then again, I am 34-55. Tank, do you have an opinion, or you're sitting out this one?
I'll take the Giants.
All right. We got the Packers, who have been sucking ass against the Commanders, who I'm not sure. Are they going Heineke, or are they starting the rookie?
They're going to have a Heineken, and then they're going to pick the quarterback.
The Packers are favored by 4.5. I got to take the Packers here, even though they have not been playing well.
All jokes aside, they're going with Heineken.
Okay, and I will take a Heineken.
I'll take the Packers.
Okay, even though I kind of like Heineke.
Well, he opens up the offense. That's like the kiss of death, right? When they say, "Oh, well, they throw the ball more with him." That means that
they're losing more.
Yeah, they're 100 points behind.
Okay, this may be one of the biggest spreads we've seen this season. The Buccaneers against the Panthers, who are just tanking it at this point, I guess. 13 points. Buccaneers are favored by 13 points. Tom Brady, he's on deployment. He's saying going to an NFL season is like going on deployment. He's never going to retire now, he said. I can't keep up with this guy's soap opera. What else? What other things he said? Screaming at offensive linemen, taking warm-up passes as his fellow teammates are dying on the field. I don't know what else to say about this guy. But anyways, 13 points seems like a lot, but who the hell do the Panthers have here? They're still got Faker Mayflower there at quarterback.
No, he's hurt.
He's starting. Out. Oh, they're starting
PJ Walker.
Oh my God, from Good Times?
No, that's
I thought he might be a little long in the tooth to be.
I mean, you may have.
That's JJ Walker. Sorry.
Yeah. They may be bringing back Sam Darnold. You may have to check that, Tank. It's either PJ Walker or Sam Darnold coming off injury.
All right. Yeah. While you look that up, I'll write the Bucks down here.
I'll take the Bucks.
And they got rid of Christian McCaffrey. And
we'll talk about that, when we get to the Niners pick.
Yeah.
It says that the Panthers got Baker Mayfield, Philip Walker, and Jacob Eason.
Yeah, that means
they have Sam Darnold. He has an ankle injury.
Darnold?
Yeah.
He's supposed to be coming back from
I thought he was practicing already.
Yeah, it does say that he returned to practice.
Okay. So, next up, we've got the Falcons. Are they first place Falcons? No. Who's in that division?
Well, maybe so, right?
I thought they were the first place team.
It's Tampa, the Saints.
Yeah.
Them.
And somebody else. They may be in first.
And place. The Panthers, right?
Yeah. Let me look that up. That's the NFC
South.
I can pull it up real quick.
Okay, yeah, let's see what the standings are in the NFC.
Yeah, Bucks are first. Bucks, Falcons, Saints, Panthers.
But do they have the same record? Maybe 3-3 each of them.
I was gonna say, are the Bucks?
Yeah, Bucks and Falcons 3-3.
Okay,
Bucks are leading.
Yeah, and the fucking Falcons got fucked against the Bucks because
of that cheesy call.
yes, the cheap roughing the passer when they stopped them in the fourth quarter, and they would have had a chance to get the ball back and win that game. So,
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Mariota's thrown 6 touchdowns, 4 picks, thrown for 1,000 yards.
He's probably rushed for 100 and something.
That's what I'm looking. I'm trying to see how many he's rushed for. 200 yards rushing.
I'll take the Falcons.
What is the spread on this? The Bengals are favored by 6.5. I'll take the Falcons too. Fuck it. Sometimes I think I don't know. I think this guy maybe he could be a good quarterback still in this league. Maybe a late bloomer. What do you think, Bum?
What, Mariota?
Yeah or no? Am I totally off base there?
I mean, I think probably in a team that is, pretty talented, he can be kind of a game manager and do something. But I don't think he's going to win too many football games just on his talent, right?
Well, nobody does. Would you rather have him than Tua?
Damn, dude, you really are scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Well, look, he's a taller Hawaiian who throws right-handed and doesn't get injured as much.
Nah, he's been pretty injured.
Really?
Yeah, he has.
Not to Tua levels, though, right?
No, he's been pretty injured.
Let's see. Let's take a look. And he got benched.
I'll take the Browns.
I'll take Tua just strictly on age.
Yeah, you take Tua because the story's not written on him yet.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And age is on his side.
Well, look, his first 4 seasons in Tennessee, he started, and I don't know if he had to sit some games out the first year, 12, and then he started 15, 15, and 14 games. So, what is he missing? 1 or 2 a year? I think that's not terrible. Anyways, next up, Browns, Ravens. Does this game have a name? Because this is like the franchise against the franchise they used to be, right?
Yeah, but I don't know if it has a special name.
The Imposter Bowl. The Ravens are favored by 6.5. Jacoby Brissett is still starting at quarterback here.
Yep.
I got to take the Ravens. Tank?
The Browns.
Oh, of course. Colts, Titans. Titans are favored by 2.5. I'll take the Titans.
Yeah, me too.
Jets, Broncos. Broncos are favored by 1. Why? I don't fucking know.
Give me the Jets.
Yeah, I'll take the Jets too.
Yeah, that would be.
What is up with Russell Wilson, dude? Did he? I guess we saw the beginnings of this sort of decline last year, right? If we look carefully, he wasn't. Has he already hit his peak and that's it? He's on the way down. Injuries and age is catching up with him.
I don't remember him being a very injured guy though. Until now,
he started to become an injured guy the last couple of years. First, it was like lower body, leg injuries and stuff that he would play through, and then the finger thing, last year, and now he's got like also there was a torn lat he had, and it just, I mean, he kind of used to run the ball a lot for a little guy, dude. So I don't know. But he was definitely a gamer in Seattle, dude. He would play hurt. I can't take that away from him. Wow, the Raiders are favored by 7, dude, against the Texans.
I'll take the Texans.
Yeah, I'll have to take the Texans here, dude.
I don't know that quarter. You know who the quarterback for the Texans are?
Is it not Mills anymore?
Yeah, no, it is.
Okay. Do you know who the quarterback for the Raiders is?
For the Raiders?
Yeah.
Yeah, Chuck Carr.
Exactly.
Chuck Carr.
And hopefully Devontae Adams doesn't throw any cameramen down this game. Next up, this is the Texans was the the Jets Broncos was a 4:00 game. The Texans Raiders was a 4:00 game, and then the Chiefs 49ers Super Bowl rematch here from a couple years back. The Chiefs are favored by just 1.5 here. Of course, the aforementioned Christian McCaffrey. Is he going to play, Bum? Do you know?
They say he is.
Now, they're rolling with Wilson, right? That's like their main guy, and they're probably going to still do that. And they're going to sprinkle this guy in here and there.
Yeah.
Dude, I think if they can sprinkle this guy in, line him up in some different places, not make him have to be the 1,000-yard rushing, 1,000-yard receiving guy, they can maybe prolong his career and really make him dangerous again and productive.
Well, I think one of the great things about where he's gone is that the 49ers are probably one of the best teams at scheming the run and using running backs in all kinds of different ways. They really do that well. So to your point, if they're able to keep this guy fresh, make him a pass catcher, make him a traditional runner, make him a wide receiver, all the different things that they do, like with a Deebo Samuel or something like that, I think it'll be pretty explosive, but we'll have to see. This guy still has that injury-prone tag to him, though.
Exactly. That's why that would be important to do. I mean, Jeff Wilson Jr. has 400 yards rushing in 6 games, averaging almost 5 yards a carry. They still, like you said, they run Deebo. He's got over 100 yards. And then nobody else really totes the ball. I mean, this will be good for Wilson, too, probably, to have this guy here. He can take a blow.
But if you look at these people's history, the 49ers, I mean, they've had some pretty, nondescript guys playing. Elijah Mitchell, Jeff Wilson, Tavon Coleman,
Raheem Mostert.
They've had very nondescript guys that they just plug and play. And
Breida,
and they're very productive. Almost like whoever they put in does well. So,
well, who's their coach?
Shanahan.
And who's his father?
Mike Shanahan.
And what did Mike Shanahan famously do as a Bronco coach?
He was famous for the whole zone blocking scheme.
And it didn't matter if it was Clinton Portis, Mike Anderson, Terrell Davis, Orlandis Gary.
I was going to say Gary. I don't remember his first name, but yeah, Orlandis Gary.
And we're forgetting others. Like it was
a ton.
Every year there was a new guy, and he was rushing for 1,000 yards.
So if you think about them actually getting a talented, true running back and putting him in that system, you would think that it's only going to be that much better.
They got some fucking weapons now, dude.
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, this team is really good. They were really good last year. They've been good since that Super Bowl that they went with the Chiefs. Their biggest issue has been injuries and not a strong quarterback, dude. But you look at that roster, and they got talent, man. They got talent.
That's the problem, right? The injuries. They seem to get good usually towards the end of the year, and then they kind of surprise some people. But yeah, now let's see. What was their first game this year? The Bears. They gave up 19 points to them. The Seahawks, they just gave up 7 points to them. The Broncos, 11. The Rams, 9. The Panthers, 15. The Falcons got them last week, 28-14. But for the most part, the defense was really holding teams, right around lower teen, 10 around there, 10 points, something like that. So you couple that with all these weapons,
Yeah, and
that
then
pick's looking pretty good by you.
and then they have Debo Samuel, they have Brandon Ayuk, they have George Kittle, and then
Kittle and Bits.
yeah, and then whoever they put at running back seems to be successful. I mean,
And they have a great fullback too, right?
Jursic or what is his name?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Pro Bowler, perennial Pro Bowler, I think. And then, you got Jimmy G back there slinging it.
And that's where I guess it falls apart. But what's Jimmy G's record?
He's got like a 600-something winning percentage.
Yeah.
What do the standings look like in this division, Tank?
Should be nice and tight also.
Yeah, the Rams are not lighting the world
Yeah.
fire here. Seahawks
3-3. Well, actually, the Rams, the Niners, and the Seahawks are 3-3, and the Cardinals are 3-4.
So everybody's got 3 wins.
Yeah.
That is another thing that Brady got a lot of heat for when he said that, the football that's out there right now is shit. A lot of people think that, man.
Well, we're kind of getting back to that. Remember that era of parity in the NFL? We're kind of seeing that this year. Like right away, nobody was undefeated. Usually you have a couple teams that kind of take it a little bit deeper into the season. The division leaders are kind of changing, a lot. So, do you like Perry? I kind of like it, dude. I hate when there's just one team, whether it was the Cowboys or the Patriots or the 49ers or, Steelers in other eras. I don't like it when there's just one team, dude, and you see the same team over and over in the Super Bowl.
Well, I definitely don't like that, but it just seems that when you do have parity, you see a lot of bad football.
Well, we have parity, and you watch the Chiefs. That's always going to be kind of cool game to watch. People like watching the Bills play. Even San Francisco, I'm assuming people would like to watch them play. The Tom Brady's a whole fucking show, and people tune into that. The Rams are the defending Super Bowl champion. Even though they're not doing great, people tune into that. Apparently, they think that we want to see the Broncos every primetime game, but I don't know. It's kind of good to see different. I like when there's a few teams that could, we don't know who's going to go. It's not like a sure thing. But yes, there's been some bad games. I agree on that.
And
anyways,
most of them have had the Broncos in them.
Oh yeah, keep those guys off primetime, man. That's enough.
Man, I read something that they had a total of 7 primetime games.
That's unheard of, dude.
I don't know if that's accurate. They've been in at least 3, right?
Why wouldn't they have done that with like the Buccaneers, for example? And what maybe he says he's not going to retire, but maybe it's his last year. Wouldn't that have been a better play? Haven't seen those guys on primetime too much, right?
No. But every time I see a big game, they're home.
Somehow, right? All right, we got to pick this game. This is a tough one, man.
I'll take the Chiefs.
I'm going to go Niners on this one. I always take the fucking Chiefs, but I'm not now. This is the last of the 4:00 games here. The Seahawks at the Chargers. The Chargers are favored by 5. Have you guys noticed how now the Tuanon people, like one of their favorite things to do is talk shit about Herbert, and like they watch his every move and like every bad play he does, or if he loses a game, they're like, you see, It's Tua, man. This guy's not that good. You see? You guys notice this?
Here's my response to that. I would probably say that so far, this is probably the worst year that Herbert has been playing, and I'll take him as is right now.
100%.
Over Tua any day, twice on Sundays.
Yes, and that's the days that you play, so you really want them on those days.
Yeah.
I mean, and you could start simply by the fact that he's there every game, just by right there. You can't help me if you're not there.
You got to be able to play the games.
Yeah, I'm taking San Diego, Los Angeles.
Yeah, I'll take them. I'll take the Chargers.
Okay, and then we got Jesus Christ. We got the night game here. Steelers at the Miami Dolphins, and we're favored by 7.5, dude.
Ooh, that stinks so high. You know what I see this like? My gut reaction to this game is that it's going to be kind of defensive and a field goal fest. That's kind of my gut reaction to it.
Tank, can you give me some scores on the Steelers game? What kind of points are these guys giving up per game?
Have they even cracked or reached 20 points?
Well,
when they beat the Bucks.
Yeah, they did last week. They beat the Bucks 20-18.
They lost to the Jets 24-20.
Okay.
They beat the Bengals 23-20.
So these guys' games are like
so exactly 20 points is what I thought they couldn't score is exactly what they're scoring. 20 points.
Yeah, but the score in every game is like exactly the same almost.
Yeah, except the Bills when they lost 3-38.
Yeah, no.
Then they lost to the Browns 29-17, and they lost to the Patriots 17-14.
Okay.
So they're in that range, 14-20.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I could see this game being kind of defensive, low scoring, a lot of field goals.
Like a 23-20 game or 20-17.
I was thinking 17-20.
Well, I just said 2017, so what?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yes.
Jesus, you just want to be different, don't you?
No. I yes.
2017, something like that. All right.
Yeah.
But who do you see winning it?
You know, the theory should be that, the more talented quarterback should win. And I would have to say that Tua is better than Trubisky if he plays.
Well, Pickett's going to play.
And he should be better than a rookie quarterback.
I think the Pickett guy.
I mean, if you use your standards just loosely, right? I mean, typically, you got a veteran against a rookie,
It's hard for me to call him a veteran, dude.
Okay, well, you got to stretch it. I mean,
that's what she said.
I think it's not crazy to say or to assume that Tua should be, the more experienced quarterback.
100%, yeah. Trubisky's been crap, and this Pickett guy has 1 touchdown and 4 picks.
Right.
And he's coming off a concussion.
So in most of these games, the difference usually is the quarterback. And if you look at it at a high level, the Dolphins should have the edge.
So you're saying the Dolphins should win this game?
They should.
They most definitely should.
Game.
Yeah,
I
do not think they will cover 7.5 though, and I'm taking the Steelers.
No,
me too.
I don't think
Steelers.
they'll cover 7.5. No.
All right, that's the Sunday night game, and then the Monday night game is a weird Monday night game. This is the Bears.
It's an awful Monday night game
at the Patriots. I mean, I always like, if I get a chance to watch the Patriots, I like to watch and see if they lose. They're favored by 8. against the Bears. Now, this Trey Lance guy has not been good either, bro.
No.
This guy's been borderline terrible.
You mean Fields?
I'm sorry, Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Trey Lance is not even playing.
Correct.
Justin Fields. He's been terrible.
And you know what? Funny enough, the guy, the backup, what is it, Billy Zappi or Zappy Bailey?
Well, that's the Patriots.
Right. That guy's been playing really well, and some people say he's been playing better than Mac Jones.
I heard, and I think it was a fake rumor, that Macaroni Jones really doesn't like the Zappy guy, but I think it was fake news. I'm not sure. Maybe you can fact check me on that. I think there was a story put out. Who is starting? Is the Zappy guy starting, or
supposedly Jones is coming back, but I think they may have a bit of a controversy there.
And we know that Belichick, I mean, obviously he never tried to bench Brady, but other than that, he put Brady in.
Let's see how great of a coach he has when he has to decide between Mac Jones and fucking Zappy Bailey.
The Zappy guy threw for 300 yards and a couple touchdowns last game.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Bailey Zappy. Jesus Christ. 8 points, though.
But, I mean, it really helps your strategy when you don't even have to think who you're starting at quarterback. And he did that for such a long time. Right here, when you got Zappy Bailey or Bailey Zappy and Macaroni and Jones, I mean, you got to think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is what I say about the Dolphins. We had Tua out. In comes Bridgewater. Next game, Bridgewater. He's out. In comes Skyler. Next game, Skyler. He's hurt. In comes Bridgewater. Now back to Tua. Who would put in when he gets hurt? We don't even know. Probably Bridgewater. So you need continuity, dude. Whatever the guy is, even if he's not great, you're not gonna do anything with the best quarterback that doesn't play half the time, even if he was the best quarterback, which we know Tua is not. But whatever he is, at minimum, you need to have him there all the time so we know what's going on. So I don't know. I'm taking the Patriots, dude. I think that's they'll cover the 8 points.
I'll take the Bears.
The Bears. And you know what? We'll go into the future here on Thursday, and we'll pick the Ravens Bucks. We could always revise this pick.
I'll take the Ravens.
Ravens. The Bucks are favored by 3. I'll take the Ravens as well. All right. That's the picks. Bum, you're gonna be going to the stadium on Sunday.
Yep.
Night game is always kind of a little extra special. It seems.
Yeah. Even though, can you remember the last night game that we went to? There was a positive event. I can't remember.
Oh man, we've been to some cool ones, dude. We beat the Patriots on a kind of chilly night a few years ago on I believe it was a Monday night game. We were wearing the throwbacks, which they will be wearing on Sunday. Jakeem Grant had a couple of nice catches, one just before the end of the half for a touchdown, I believe.
Wow, I don't remember that.
Well, I mean, we drank a lot of alcohol, dude.
What year was that?
I want to say that was 2017.
Okay, yeah, that's 5 years ago.
Well, we also have not, had season tickets for a few years. We went to a Jets game one time with Leandro. That was a pretty cool, I believe, Thursday night game, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to think. We went to a New York Giants Monday night game, I think.
We lost that.
We lost that game.
And we went to a Raiders game that we lost to.
Night game?
Yeah,
Oh, that I barely.
I'll never forget it because it was the game just before I started the working at the company that I'm in now. It was November 2017.
Was that a Thursday night game?
No, I think it was a Sunday night.
And did we win that game?
No, we lost.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, that guy. They back then they had that tight end. The tight end that he's played for a bunch of teams: the Chargers, the Saints, Tennessee.
I have no
And
idea.
He killed us. What's that guy's name?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Who was it, Bum?
Huh?
Who were you saying from the Raiders?
Yeah, it was November 2017. Raiders Dolphins. And the tight end, damn, he played for the Saints. He's played for a bunch of teams, and everywhere he's played, he's been kind of good.
November 5th, 2017. Let's see.
Damn, they beat us 27-24, dude. I don't remember the fucking game, dude.
Look at the box score, and the big guy, the big person was the tight end in that game.
Damn, they had Marshawn Lynch, dude.
Yeah. He scored 2 touchdowns.
Look at the tight end.
Jared Cook?
Yeah.
Yes. What did he have?
Now
126 yards, 8 receptions, 0 touchdowns.
Yeah, that guy ate us up alive, man. Yeah. Jared Cook.
Now I remember.
You remember now?
Now Jared Cook. This was the Jake Cutler era. Even though Cutler threw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. Kenyon Drake 70 yards. Our tight end was pretty decent this game. Julius Thomas 6 catches for 84 and a touchdown. Devontae Parker.
That may have been his only good game with us. That guy was another free agent bust of ours.
Yeah, I blocked this game completely out of my memory.
Yeah.
All right.
I wanted to help you bring it back. So did we count like the night games there to about like 5 or 6 that we've been to?
I'm sure we've been to more.
I mean, no, in the entire world of football, but
yeah, I do get what you're saying though. When I've seen the Dolphins on TV on the road on primetime, terrible.
Yes,
always. I think like that Cincinnati one, which was a walk off with the sack safety by Cam Wake. That was one of the few. But I remember the Saints lighting us up, even though we beat the Saints last year on primetime over there, right?
Did we?
Yeah, we saw it when we were in Asheville.
Oh yes.
So we beat them, but that seemed like they almost
decimated.
They almost called Drew Brees back into action. But I remember the Saints whooping our ass other years on primetime. The Panthers doing it to us. Maybe even the Ravens doing it. Yeah, the Ravens.
The Ravens, definitely.
Yeah, they had like some tap dancing running back guy who like ran all over us. Like he was literally a tap dancer, and they kept showing him tap dancing, that he really did that to help his running skills. I think he's still a running back with them. I can't remember the guy's name. So yeah, traditionally we don't do good, but I specifically remember the good ones, which is that Patriot game and the Jets game, and Then we won a lot of years when they would punish us, and every fucking game was at 1:00.
Yeah.
Like the whole slate was 1:00 game. We never got rarely got a 4:00 game.
That Giants game is a rarity. The Dolphins don't play the Giants many often. And that on a prime time is even more rare.
Yeah, absolutely. Tank, did you watch already the whole Dahmer thing? Moving away from football for a second?
Yeah, I finished it.
Okay, so no spoilers. I'm not gonna watch it. So
I finished it yesterday.
So give us your analysis.
Wow.
Did at any point you guys consider, you know what, I'm not going to finish watching this?
It was super gay.
100%, right? Well, they titled it in the beginning. They caught some heat. They put it in their LGBTQ and the rest of the alphabet category in Netflix,
Yeah.
and they caught heat and they removed it.
Here's a couple thoughts on that, though. Number one, dude, that guy is the closest thing to like a Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers that, that actually existed. That guy was pretty fucking evil. So that's one thing.
But not very careful, right? Kind of like.
Well, here's how I'm going to balance it, and it ties into what you're about to say. Dude, I have never seen anybody like be such a prolific killer by getting a break by saying that his refrigerator went bad and that's why his house smelled. My God, the guy, every time somebody like,
he really likes pork chops.
Everybody, it smells like death in your house. Oh yeah, my freezer went out and I had these pork chops. Are you fucking kidding me, bro? Like,
yeah.
that guy was a prolific killer based on that his freezer broke and his meat spoiled. I mean, come on.
I saw a meme where they said, it was not a meme, it was more like a skit where they intertwined footage from the show with like a guy in his apartment in Hialeah, and they were like, Jeffrey Dahmer would have never made it in Hialeah, and he gets confronted by some Cuban guy. He goes, oye, hay una peste adentro, oye, ¿qué pasa? No, oye, and like, dude, that poor lady who kept calling the cops and kept, like bringing up, hey, that's a kid, like nobody ever paid attention to that lady, man.
Oh man, and that's another thing. I never knew that part of the story, right? Like I only knew about the grisly deaths and kind of his background.
Dude, shit was almost more like urban legend back then. You didn't have the abundance of information that we have now, right?
Yeah.
Like you would just kind of hear like a story, a snippet, and all I knew was that this guy was like the devil and he ate people and he was gay and and that he kept some of the part, like, and that's it. They wouldn't give you very many details.
I mean, the fact that lady called as many times as she did, they really focused on that. I really didn't know that. That was pretty terrible. The fact that one time they actually returned, like a guy that they found out in the street naked with handcuffs, they actually took him back to the guy's house and left him there, and he ended up being killed.
Well, no. The handcuffed guy is the guy who.
I'm sorry.
Caught him.
Okay.
The young kid is the one that.
The kid is the one that got returned.
They returned. The kid that they returned back.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fucked up. And then those officers, got sued, this, that, and the other, and the union kind of protected them, and they ended up being officers of the year. I mean, that's fucked up.
Yeah, and obviously he benefited from being in a bad neighborhood, because they didn't give a fuck.
Oh yeah, but that was the key to his cynicism, right? Is that he hunted in a place where he knew that no one would care about those people missing.
Right. Because I don't remember hearing about him as a named killer, like the son of Sam. They knew he was out there. We're looking for the son of Sam, the Zodiac killer. No, I don't remember, like, we're looking for, what was his nickname?
The Milwaukee Cannibal.
But there was not like a manhunt out for the.
No. Well, because that's another thing, because of the prey that he had was gay black men, so nobody really cared about that. And there's a detective
and no bodies, right? No bodies.
There's the very key. There's a detective that they interview, and they said if this guy would have been targeting women, heterosexual women, he would have been caught sooner.
100%, because like, hey, my girlfriend's missing. My wife's
Yeah.
missing.
Yes.
Oh my God, there's been 10 missing women, in this area of
But because it was gay people in the 80s of AIDS and the bathhouses and all that, like the stigma there at that time is that, people didn't really care much for those people. They were pariah. And he was preying on those people because he knew that like nobody cared about them. So it really worked to his advantage. It's sad to say, but
he just also did not seem very careful though. Like he would let the cops in, yeah, come in, yeah.
and that's another thing. I don't know how many times cops went into, wow, like what happened here? It smells like a dead body. Oh, but I'm sure there's not one. But I mean,
Yeah.
what the hell? It was like terrible police work too.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Shoddy detective work there.
Yes. But as when you think of pure evil, I mean him and John Wayne Gacy, you can't invent that shit, dude. And by the way, I didn't realize it, but in the last episode, they show John Wayne Gacy and they cover a little bit about him in there. And they showed Dahmer looking at interviews of John Wayne Gacy in jail and when they execute him.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
He was electric chair?
No,
Lethal
injection.
They say the next one that they're probably gonna do, because apparently people love this shit and they did really good numbers with it, is that guy you told me about, Tank. What was that guy's name?
Which one?
The guy you told me that was like probably worse than this guy. The guy
Ed Gein?
That guy.
Oh yeah.
So
that's from the 50s. Tank,
Yeah.
What did you think of Dahmer?
Well, what do you mean, the person or the show?
And by the way, what is the shirt? What is the shirt you're wearing? Is this a family shirt? I see your name on there. Oh shit! Okay, motocross. All right.
The show, Tank.
The show? Oh yeah, definitely gay.
He's a real fan of him.
But
of his work.
I gotta admit, I was always into like the fucking serial killers and all that shit. So I was excited to see it. I learned a lot.
Weird? Isn't that weird, dude? When you're like into that,
yeah.
Like you think to yourself, "Oh man, why am I?" I find myself
maybe it's because I wouldn't do it.
I find myself reading about it sometimes and stuff, or watching the shows, and I'm like, "Oh man, this is fucked up, dude. I don't want to watch this."
Like but it kind of felt like they wanted us to feel bad for him.
Yeah, that's what my daughter said. That's what Sarah said. She said, I didn't really care for it because they tried to make us feel bad for him.
Yeah, what do they call that? What do they humanize him or
yes, sympathy.
They portray him in a sympathetic way. I saw an interview in jail of him and with his dad sitting right next to him, and he's talking about eating these people and saving these things, and he's like, I don't really know why I did it. I can't explain it. I didn't really try to fight it, anymore, and I don't know why I did it.
Now that touches on an interesting thing that I didn't know until I watched this. It's interesting to see what his dad thinks is the reason that his son was that way and what his mom thinks.
What is it that they think?
So the dad thinks that it had something to do with all of, like his mother, while she was pregnant with him, was prescribed a ton of medication.
She was kind of a junkie, right?
All kinds of she had like a really, like what people call like a tough labor or a difficult pregnancy.
Yeah, she was birthing a monster, dude, literally.
She was prescribed like all morphine and all kinds of drugs. I think the dad said at some point she was taking nearly 30 pills of different things, and he believes that somehow affected the fetus. Now the mom, curiously enough,
She blames it on him.
No, the mom blames, kind of refers to that Jeffrey had like a hernia operation, I think when he was 4 or 6 years old.
In the brain.
And after the hernia operation, they said he was different.
Okay, but the hernia's not in the brain, Tank.
No?
No.
That's
the
in
hernia,
your...
like lower abdomen or something, like
Yeah.
in between your
I thought it
schnoz.
had to do something.
It's in your loins.
Something with his brain.
Yes.
No. Now, another thing they show in the show was his affinity for roadkill and dissecting them with his dad and shit like that, which was, I guess he could have ended up being a taxidermist, too.
Well, yeah, and his dad looks back on that and says that, maybe that was a mistake of his because he did go back and show him, like they would pick up roadkill and dissect it and things like that. And at one point, he was saying that his job, like when his grandmother say, "My God, it smells terrible in here," he would say, "Oh, that's my taxidermy." Again, I have never seen anybody that has been like, you go to his house or his room as many times as this guy over 10 or 20 years. It smells like something died, and he just waves it off as, "Oh, it's just my meat freezer," or "It's my taxidermy," or "It's my..." And that went on for like 20 years. Like, don't you think at some point somebody would have said, "Hey, wait a minute, it smells like a dead body here"?
Yeah, no, I was shocked also because, again, when I was young and this came out, I didn't know all the information. I always assumed he was doing this out of a house, maybe in like the outskirts of town. I never imagined he was doing this in a fucking apartment, dude, where there's like somebody a paper thin wall away from you. That
And
was
at
cool.
one point, he was doing it in his grandmother's house.
Right. That's where he was fucking the mannequin, right?
Yeah.
The T-1000 mannequin.
Yeah.
So far, you guys are describing kind of like the first 2 episodes that I saw. What else happens after that? It's like 10 episodes, right?
A lot of fucking.
That's it. Just goes on with fucking and killing, fucking and killing, fucking and killing.
Well,
fucking and killing.
I think towards the end it starts more focusing on the peripheral things, like they show, which I didn't know, Jesse Jackson going to Milwaukee and embedding himself in that situation
After it happened.
Yeah.
Because if that dude doesn't escape and brings the cops to his house and they find the picture, like he keeps going.
He does another 20 years.
They're never on to him.
He does another 20 years of people coming to his house and say, "Hey, it smells like a dead body in here. Oh, it's my freezer. Oh, okay, bye."
Let's go watch The Exorcist Part 3. Not even like Exorcist 1. Let's go watch Exorcist Part 3 or Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, he has another guy that gets away. But he's drugged and like the cops don't believe him and shit.
The one that they give him back?
No, there's another one. There's another guy that the grandma stayed up. Like he brought him home and the grandma woke up and she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna stay with him till he wakes up."
And then later they show him like in like he's in a counseling center or something, right, Tank? Like he's counseling people.
Yeah. He's giving like the AIDS test. Results.
Like he's talking to a guy that has AIDS and he's trying to make him feel better and all that. And
So there was no death penalty, or there is. I guess there isn't any death penalty still, I would assume, in Wisconsin. So he gets convicted. Did they show the trial?
Yeah.
And then that sister, that's pretty sad when that sister of one of the victims talks, which they show that there. Was it a long trial, or I'm guessing this was a pretty open and shut case, right?
Well, yeah, he confessed to everything.
Right. He tried to help them and everything, like identify everybody. So he gets sentenced. Did they show much of his jail life in the show?
They showed a little bit, yeah, and they show how he dies in jail.
Yeah, which was pretty sweet that he got justice somehow. Vigilante. I don't know if that's vigilante justice, but anyways, some type of justice.
That was the Lord.
Yeah.
The dude killed 2 guys.
Yes, which I did not know that either. He
And the
killed
guy's
another guy.
he's still alive.
Yes,
that
he
guy.
is.
I guess at that point, if you're already doing like whatever amount of years, which is life, what's another life sentence? He was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna kill this guy." And
Yeah, that guy ended up killing those 2 people because the one guy, something Anderson, had killed his wife by shooting her in the face like 5 times, but tried to blame it on some black guys.
right.
And then, Dahmer specifically was kind of targeting black guys. So this guy felt like these guys were really, anti-black, kind of taking advantage of the black people. So that's why he killed both of them.
Dahmer said in an interview, I saw a real life interview of him, and he said that none of them were racially motivated. That he just tried to find the best looking men he could.
Yeah.
I don't know. At that guy's the devil already. Why would he not just say that too if that were the case? Yeah, you know what? But he was trying to find the best looking, and then he wanted to keep them. Which has to do with I guess being left alone,
abandonment issues.
Yeah.
Right. So he was always
that was one of his things in the show. Like, why does everybody want to leave me?
Something he would say. Such a weirdo loner. His dad would leave. His mom was there, but not really there.
That's something in the story I did not know, that there's this period of time where his mom, leaves, and then his dad goes and lives in a hotel, and he's basically by himself. I didn't realize that until I saw that. I thought he had a pretty normal childhood, and the stuff that I had read before, until I saw the movie and it showed that.
He says it was normal, but it certainly didn't seem normal. They seem to be fighting all the time. She seemed to be out of it. His dad seemed more, pretty normal, except, the roadkill shit is kind of fucking weird, obviously. But he seemed to at least like him, it's not like his father hated him or his father seemed to hate his wife more than anything.
Yeah, but one thing that came across is that there wasn't a lot of affection there.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't a lot. People weren't hugging and kissing and, hey, how you doing? And there wasn't really much of that, or at least that's what it looked like to me.
Yeah, 100%. All right. Anything else on Dahmer before we move on? There's going to be another one, right? Not of his, but another.
Sure.
Oh, and by the way, there's a lawyer. I think it's his lawyer, right, Tank, that tells him and his father that there was a case very similar to his back in the 1950s, and they wanted to use the same defense that they used in that case, and it was Ed Gein.
Yeah.
And what was the defense?
Ed Gein eventually, I guess, used the insanity.
Yeah, he was ruled insane. So it was so that he could be at a mental institute instead of a prison.
I always have a problem with that because you gotta be crazy to do any of that stuff. So, like, it should be like, yeah, buddy, you are crazy, but we're still gonna punish you.
But the Ed Gein thing is kind of interesting because Ed Gein, who is real, right, spawns off. He is the inspiration for The Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Right. He liked to have the fucking lamps with human skin and even
Buffalo
Yes.
Bill.
mask.
Buffalo Bill
She
and
puts the lotion in the basket.
Silence of the Lambs.
Put the fucking lotion in the basket, bitch.
There's 2 other movies that he's the inspiration for it.
Don't you hurt. What's this dog's name?
John
Anybody
Wick.
remember? You remember the dog's name? The little dog falls in there, right? And she has the little dog.
Toto.
No, you don't remember the scene, bum?
I
He
know the
has, like-
scene. I don't remember the dog's name.
He has like a little dog, and the little dog falls in there. It's like,
Well,
oh, Precious. Don't you hurt Precious, right?
maybe Precious. I don't remember the dog's name.
She puts the lotion in the basket.
You froze again. With a big ham hock face.
Precious.
There you go. You're back.
Her name was Precious, dude.
There you go.
There you go. I
Her real
remember
name
that.
is Darla. She's no longer with us.
The dog?
Yeah. God damn, she was born in 75 and she died in 92.
Damn, right after the movie.
Yeah, 91.
Dude, this lady quit her job, dude, like after just a few weeks. Prime Minister Liz Truss. Have you your hat's brimmed and a little bit off to the side, if I could say that? Mom.
Who?
You.
Me?
Yeah. You got some side brimmage going on.
It's not straight?
No.
There.
That's a little better. Have you talked to your friends in the UK about this situation?
No.
Okay.
But,
I'll be interested to see what they think.
Yeah, they're a little bit more liberal, and she represented the Conservative Party. So I'm sure they weren't fans of her. But I was reading a little bit more about it.
So she was Boris's same party.
Yes.
And what was her position before?
I don't know what they called them there.
Parliament.
They're just parliament members. But I heard that all of her economic plans that she implemented were disastrous. Their inflation has risen to double digits, like 10 or 11%.
But dude, the first 45 days is basically like, all right,
A
where's my
honeymoon?
where's my office?
Could I get my business cards?
Yeah. What's my email address? Where do I sit? Copy machine. Where do I get coffee?
That's how bad it was, right?
Jesus. Like, we think Biden's bad. I mean, this was like,
There was no honeymoon.
oh my God. But she left.
Yeah.
Do you think she could have toughed it out?
Yeah.
Or she was like, you know what? Fuck. This is fucked. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm fucking fixing this. Now they're talking maybe even bringing Boris back. Which would be kind of crazy. How long did she last? 45 days.
45 days. Oh, by the way, Ed Gein also inspired Psycho.
Oh, wow. Because there was like a mental thing, right? With both of them?
Well, that and they kind of left. They had corpses laying around.
Dolphins have some corpses laying around sometimes on the field. So what the fuck happens now? Who the fuck's in charge there?
I think they'll have another prime minister. They'll now within Parliament they'll try to come up with somebody, and they should have somebody within a week.
But do they have to vote on this?
Well, what happens is
there like a vice prime minister?
no. They basically what they do now is they find somebody who
Says a leadership election will be completed within the next week.
Yeah, basically, they'll find somebody that has a lot of as much popularity as possible to withstand a vote, and then they'll present that person and they'll be voted in.
One of the most abridged job searches for a world leader ever. The conservatives aim to find Truss's successor within a week and possibly as soon as Monday. The names floated for the next PM include hotshot members of Truss's cabinet, her conservative rival Rishi Sunak, and even former Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who stepped down this summer. I guess they may be saying, dude, this guy wasn't that bad.
Well, I think when he left, he actually said, I may see you again or something like that. And a lot of people say that. So
good luck with this bitch, guys. I'll see you again.
Yeah.
Jesus, dude. She must have been really bad, or that situation is really bad where she's like, fuck it. Dude, I gotta do a quick rant here. Indulge. How often you guys, and I realize it's the year 2022 and we can do a lot of things online, email, text, whatever. But every once in a while, you need to get on the phone and you need to talk to a company to solve a problem that you know that you're not going to solve on some automated system or email or whatever. How often do you guys have to do this task?
The last 3 weeks, I've done it a lot, between paying bills for my mother who had nothing set up automatically, like electronically.
Sure.
Insurance and doctors. Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Isn't it almost... Well, for that, you could get somebody when you want to pay something. But anything else, it's like everybody like hides their phone number. Like you can even just finding the phone number is a task. And then if you're lucky enough to find that phone number, it's like, I can't connect you to an agent yet. You need to tell me your this number and that your account number.
Because the most expensive, and this goes for technical support too, right? The most expensive support that you could ever pay for is talking to a human.
Sure. But
so
dude,
what a lot of companies do is they use AI, artificial intelligence, and they have these bots where you go to a prompt and you just type out your question and that thing will try to answer it based on, but it's not a real person.
Sure.
It just reads the words and says, oh, that is this problem.
Right.
And it tries to give you the answer. That is cheaper than having somebody pick up the call and talk to you.
100%. Agreed. I understand it. I'm just saying, they making it seem like we're so advanced in the year 2022 and everything is so bullshit, dude. That is worse. 20 years ago, I did it when I worked at the bank. You can get somebody on the phone, man. You know, now you cannot fucking get somebody on the phone, dude. You want to buy? That you could probably get somebody on the phone when you want to buy or pay. But any other problem after you've bought, paid, or whatever, it's impossible, dude. Like they hide the number. You get through these automated systems, and they don't want you to get through to anybody. I had it with UPS one. A customer it was impossible to get somebody on the phone. Amazon, it's impossible to get somebody on the phone. I have another Amazon story while I'm fucking unloading. I'll tell you about it in a minute. Who else did I have to call recently? Insurance, dude. Insurance. That was another one, dude. We had an accident. I had to pay. My car took 3 months to get it fixed. I had to pay insurance. I thought about it. Like when we got it, we haven't got the money back. I go, I just paid insurance for 3 months for that car to sit in the fucking
the shop.
auto. Yeah. Oh, well, we're still protecting your car against theft or whatever. Like, Jesus, it can't be the same exposure as if I was driving that car every day. You know what I mean? Like,
it's funny you bring this up because I had one of the business lines say to me the other day that they needed to find ways to cut costs, and a big part of my department they pay for, like the employees. So they're looking to cut costs, and we started to look at AI automation, and this company that's looking at this is they're looking like at all of our trouble tickets, and based on that they're able to figure out like how many of those trouble tickets could they automate and just do without human intervention. And the starting price of that service, right?
The AI program service,
Right.
whatever.
Is $35,000 for implementation, and then a yearly subscription. That's a yearly bill of $279,000 a year to automate what right now my guys do, on the phone.
Yeah, I guess you just got to figure out, am I going to be able to get rid of X amount of salary of X amount of players with X amount of problems that it'll be able to solve? I don't know enough.
The X factor there, though, is that nobody likes talking to like a non-human.
It takes longer.
And it's all through chat. Like this thing will pop up and say, "Oh, hi, Randy. Thank you for..." But it's not a real person.
Sure.
It's just a greeting that it automatically pumps out.
Right.
And it sees what your name is and it responds to you. And then depending on what you put in that chat, then it goes looking for in a database of, okay, is this anything that I have here in my database to try to help this guy?
But everybody knows they're talking to an automated system.
Not everybody. Some people are dumb.
Really? I mean, it wouldn't. It seems like it wouldn't pass the Turing test.
Well, first of all, it gives itself a name. They encourage you to have names for the AI bots. So you could be talking to Sheldon, but Sheldon is nobody.
Yeah, I thought they were real people.
No. Well, in some cases they are, but
hey, it gets shit done better than the phone. I gotta say that.
But there's a lot of AI that's you name the agents just like as real people, but they're nobody. It's all automation.
Yeah, when I worked at the bank, we were in the early stages of that sort of thing. So if you were calling for your balance, and some people liked it, some people like, fuck it, I don't need to talk to somebody. I'll just press 1 for your balance. Your balance, look up a check, and that was kind of cool because if you just wanted to do those little things, you could do them on your own, transfer money, all this shit. Okay, cool. I don't need to talk to somebody. But there's always a thing where like you have to explain a weird situation or whatever that like you just know this machine is not going to be able, you know what I mean?
Well, depending on how good the AI is, a lot of them look at natural language and are able to figure out what you're really trying to say based on what you're typing.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we're going backwards, dude. There's nothing like talking to somebody and now it seems like every company's hiding their phone number, making it hard to get to somebody, and it sucks. That was my rant for that. A little one for fucking Bezos and Amazon here. Man of action figures, we sell on Amazon, right? Not only do they hold your money and they pay it out on a 2-week basis, so any sales you have for an accumulating 2 weeks, you then get in your bank account, sort of like a payroll. You work 2 weeks and then like the check comes in a few days later. So you're selling on a Monday, you're not getting paid next Monday. The thing generates the following Monday and you get in your account maybe Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever. Thursday if it's taking long. So they already do that. That's just standard operating procedure. Standard operating procedures also, they keep about 20% of your sales. You're already taking that, fully, you're like agreeing to that. That's not anything out of the ordinary. But last pay period, I noticed, dude, I sold a few, there was one item in particular which it was a $500 item, so I noticed right away. I was like, why is this $500 not in the deposit? And then it said invoiced orders will be paid on a later date, November, I don't know what. And I said, man, did I select something weird, where I would let people pay later for this item or something that I'm not, maybe I messed something up here. And then I start reading into it, and they're like, oh, Amazon sellers are now enrolled to accept invoice payments for certain qualified buyers. Well, you will allow them to buy your item and you will get paid when they complete their payments to Amazon. Can I opt out of this? You may opt out and get your money right away for a 1.5% fee. So they're doing like this payment program loan type of situation with your money. They have no skin in the game. I don't know what happens if those people don't pay Amazon. Maybe that's the skin they have, but like they just automatically are putting you in this program where you're either agreeing or you're going to pay a fee to get your money to let these people make payments on, this was a $500 item. It's not like it was a $10 item on any item. And I thought, no wonder this guy's a fucking billionaire. And no wonder he was raised around a Cuban fucking guy, dude. Because he's no fucking dummy, dude. He doesn't have very, probably a lot of morals, but Jesus Christ, dude. Have you ever heard of such a thing where they just like automatically put you in to some fucking program that's only beneficial to them and the buyer and not to you, the seller?
Well, I've heard of things like that, not specifically Amazon, but
usually it's something that you opt into.
Scams like that.
Usually it's something you would opt into. Like they'd approach you and they say, hey, do you want to try to make some more sales potentially that maybe you wouldn't make, but you don't get the money? Oh, you can sign up for, it's like automatic nailing. All right. Got that off my chest. Thanks, guys. Dude, one more thing I want to do with Tua before we go. Have you given much thought, and I have, to players in the past that he reminds you of? I told you about one.
Yeah, I think I know we talked about it in a different way by saying, how many players with his injury history do we know have been successful? Mm-hmm. And I don't think we came up with many.
But Jim McMahon, I thought, was sort of like a kind of parallel.
You know what I don't like about that parallel? I consider Jim McMahon tough.
Oh, so you're saying you don't think Tua's tough?
Not overtly. Hey, listen, anybody who puts on a helmet and plays football, to me, is tough.
Right. Oh, now you're backtracking.
But
now he's doing the old backtracking.
But, to me, when I think of Jim McMahon, I thought he was overtly tough. What I mean by that is there were times he engaged defensive players, and there was a nastiness about him. I don't see that at all in Tua.
Well, we're talking different eras too, if we're being honest.
No, of course.
And I told Tank, I think I told you too, we should watch some like games from the 80s one day. Just sit and queue up one game and just look at the differences that you see. You would rarely see a guy run out of bounds. He'd get every inch he could get. You would rarely see the starting running back, raise his hand to get taken out of the game. You never, unless somebody was hurt, like you never saw that. Like even into the 90s, dude. Like Emmitt Smith carried the ball almost every down. You didn't even know in some cases, unless the backup running back was a kick returner or whatever. You sometimes didn't even know. Like the advent of the third down back, wasn't really a big thing. I know we had Jim Jensen and some teams had that, but it was fullback, running back. The QB slide, I mean, that's something that you really started to see even, I think, more during the time I started watching football. They didn't really do it that much. If they ran, they would run, but I don't remember like now it's automatic slide. Which is you don't want those guys doing it. But I'm just saying it's changed.
I will say also though, to be fair, the quarterbacks of that time, it was a rarity to see an athletic quarterback. The quarterbacks seemed the least athletic people on the team at times back then.
Yeah, you wanted a pocket. The Fran Tarkentons were far and few between. You mostly saw like a stand-up, tall dude with a big arm. Like your Dan Marino, Kurt Warner. Even though he was later, Kurt Warner was kind of a throwback, really, in that regard. Just a big dude standing there. Even though those guys were elusive at times, though. I saw Marino plenty of times just do like a little slide back here, and like a little slide over here, and he'd avoid a sack. But I think it'd be interesting to sit down and just watch one of those games and notice how many guys going across the middle. You don't see that much now. If you do see it now, somebody's getting picked, or something on that play. So they're kind of, you see tight ends going across the middle. You don't see a lot of those receivers going across the middle.
By the way, the most unsuspecting play that I saw during that time, and it worked every time that it was ran because it was so unsuspecting, was any called run by Marino. And it may have happened like in his whole career like 5 times. But every time that they ran it,
like a naked bootleg or some shit.
A naked boot, a draw.
Yeah, Manning had a couple of those too in his life.
Every time. Like it may have happened 5 times in his career, but it was 100% successful every time they ran it because
nobody defended against that.
Yeah, nobody defended against it.
Yeah. But I thought Jim McMahon, just he was also a 5th pick overall. He was also very, very good college player. I didn't realize Jim McMahon set so many records. He set a ton of records at BYU.
BYU. Yeah. If you look at a lot of the quarterbacks that came out of BYU, I think Steve Young was one of them, right?
Yeah.
Ty Detmer.
Yep.
A lot of the BYU quarterbacks, because that was the old Pac or Mac. It was like just throw that division in college where you'd always see
high scoring.
Yeah, you'd see them like at 11:30 at night on TV.
Yes.
And they were throwing like for 6 touchdowns.
They were fun games to watch. Look that up, Tank, if you can. Some of Jim McMahon's college accolades. They were both considered for the Heisman. So that's another parallel I found between them. 5th overall picks. A lot of injuries to both of them. Jim McMahon had a lot of concussions.
Yes.
But
I think they invented. And maybe they invented rules on the quarterback because of them. Didn't Jim McMahon get the you couldn't pile drive a quarterback to the ground because they did it to him? I think maybe it was Reggie White or somebody.
No, it was another Packer. I think his name was Charles Martin or something like that. Actually, I have it on one of the shorts on the YouTube channel. But
it became a rule, right?
It was the latest hit and considered one of the dirtiest plays in NFL history. He threw the ball, and I think like a full 3 seconds, like 1, 2, 3, and the guy grabs him.
Hey, you should look that up. See if you can see the video on that.
Yeah, maybe we could show that.
Jim McMahon, I got a couple of his accolades.
Okay, yeah. Tell us, what did he do? This guy had a lot of records, dude, in college.
Well, the only thing I found about the records was like that he broke a bunch. It doesn't tell me specifically, but he was a NCAA co-offensive player of the year. And he finished third in the Heisman voting.
I think Tua was second in Heisman.
And then from 77 to 81, he was part of a 5 consecutive WAC championship team.
There you go. The whack.
The whack.
Yeah.
And was 3-time all WAC first team.
And I don't really know who he played with, but I know they put up big numbers. But I guess they all did. Who else was in that whack? Is that like Fresno State and those type of people?
Maybe. Yeah.
It says that he played with BYU.
Yeah, that was his school. Yeah. Shout out to Central Utah Paranormal. Those guys are Mormons. Right?
BYU,
and I don't know if Jim McMahon was, but they said he kind of also became this wild, crazy character, in the NFL because he felt very sort of held back, in college, like he had to act a certain way, and then once he got to the NFL, it was like, he was kind of
free for all.
Yeah, he was doing like rap songs, and he was with the headbands, and all this stuff. I was a fan of his, dude. I love to watch him play. Even in Philadelphia, when he came in that one year for Randall Cunningham, he did pretty well with them. But that guy's suffering from major head trauma, dude. Now, he always had that cool visor, but then later I found out he wore that visor because there was something wrong with his eyes. He had like extreme sensitivity
to light, yeah, from all the concussions.
Well, I don't know if it's from that, but yeah, maybe it was from that. That would make sense. Robert Griffin, would you say maybe? Not the style, but maybe the injury part.
Robert Griffin.
Yes, I could draw some parallels. Probably.
Oh, the quarterback.
Mm-hmm. RG3. Maybe you know him by that name.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. Here's something funny to look up. Tank, can you look up this is a triple question here. Look up if you can on 3 screens. Tua's career record stats, Tannehill's career stats, and Teddy Bridgewater's career stats. And while you do that, I want to ask you, Bum, how much stock do you put in quarterback rating?
Not a lot.
No, you don't kind of look at that when you look at a quarterback. Like, what numbers are you looking at when you're looking at a quarterback stats?
Actually, you know what? I'm kind of old school in that respect. I kind of look at touchdown to interception ratio.
Okay.
Yardage and completion rate.
Yeah,
I know that the quarterback rating takes all of that in.
Right. Yeah. It kind of averages out all that stuff.
But I never focused on, for whatever reason, I never focused on that.
I always kind of take a peek there. I find that, and even, now QBR, they consider a better number analytically. But I always I look at that sort of like I would like a batting average or something for a baseball player. It kind of gives me an overall idea of how, efficient this guy has been. But yeah, sure. You want all those other numbers you mentioned as well, which I think, what else are they factoring in? I don't know. Are they factoring how many times you get sacked? Are they factoring in, I guess, the yards per attempt and all that stuff? I guess they're factoring it all.
I got them, Randy, the stats.
Okay. So what is their QB rating for their career? Each one of these guys.
Tua is 91.8.
For his career?
Yeah.
Or is that this season?
No, his career.
Okay, 91.8?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tannehill is 91.7.
So virtually the same.
And Bridgewater is 90.5.
Just a smidget behind.
Yeah. There's no significant difference.
in those numbers. Give me their TD to interception career numbers.
Tua 35-18. Tannehill.
So he's kind of doubling up. His touchdowns are double his picks, basically.
Tannehill 205-105.
He's kind of doubling up his touchdown to picks.
And Bridgewater 74-46.
Not quite doubling it up. Not quite, because that would be 92 touchdowns. So he's a little bit short on that. But these people are in the same ballpark in some of this shit.
Completion for Tua is 66.7, Tannehill 64.2, and Bridgewater 66.4.
I would expect
That makes sense.
And I would expect a big difference. Yards per attempt would be a big difference.
I would expect that to go Tannehill.
Yep.
Maybe Teddy and then Tua. I don't know.
Yeah, I would think I would expect that Tua is the least there.
And Tannehill would be the highest.
Yes.
Out of these three, at least.
Yes.
Do you have that one there? Yards
per
attempt?
Or yards per pass, I think.
Right, because yards per attempt would take in consideration your incompletion.
I don't even know if that could be.
Average, I think 6.9 for Tua.
Mm-hmm.
Does that sound about right?
Yes.
All right, let me look up Tannehill real quick.
And that's low.
Tannehill is 7.3.
Not that much more, though.
Not much more.
But again, I don't know if this takes... Yeah, this takes...
And
has a lower
Bridgewater is
percentage.
7.3 also.
Look at Teddy. He's almost the highest, which is... That might be surprising, actually.
Yeah.
He's just a little more efficient. Maybe he's not throwing the ball downfield as much as these other guys are. I don't know. He is early in his career still, but
the bottom line is there, Tua was the lowest.
Yeah, out of those three at this point in his career. He still has time to make up that about half yard.
So what does that look like for what we would consider a top tier quarterback?
Okay, let's look at a top tier. Who are we looking at? Rodgers, Brady, who are we going to look at?
Let's look at Josh Allen.
Okay. Can we do that real quick, Tank?
Yeah.
By the way, while he's looking that up, the Rams were finally made to flip some of the bill for that St. Louis settlement. Remember that? That was in the news. They have made them pay a staggering $571 million of, I think the full thing was $790 million. So I guess the rest of the league is flipping that difference, which is about $221 million. But the Rams are paying $571, which I would say you have to pay the whole make it pay the whole thing. But that's what they're doing. Jim Irsay wants to get Dan Snyder out. I don't know if you heard this. He's like, you know what?
Yeah.
Fuck this guy. And I think we have enough people to get him out, which they need 24 people to get him out. There was a weird thing, just real quick before we go into the whose numbers are really Josh Allen. Before we get into Josh Allen's numbers, which the first couple of years for him weren't fucking great, so it'll be good to see his average what it is now. But the last little quick point I wanted to make on gambling, DraftKings made, I don't know if this is true or not, but millions of dollars when they ran a promo saying Justin Herbert, if he throws one touchdown, you make double your money, which they moved that number. They made it like a, what do they call this? A super play or something where they
a prop.
Yeah, but this made this prop like way lower than it normally would be. Normally you'd get way worse odds. And it was the first game, besides one other game that he had, where he never threw a touchdown. He had thrown a touchdown in like 99% of his games, other than this one game, and people were like saying the fix is in because they made so much money. They right before the game they moved up the odds to make that. So, anyways, little gambling note for you.
All right, so Josh Allen has 62.8 completion percentage.
That would be the lowest out of all of them.
Well, his knock out of college was that he wasn't accurate.
His average is 7.2 a yard,
Wow.
and his touchdown interception is 120.50.
But look, he's far better than them on that. All these guys were not even doubling up their picks. This guy has doubled up his picks in touchdowns plus 20 more. That's the kicker there. And do they give us his rating there?
92.9.
And even that's just slightly above these guys, but that has to do probably with that completion percentage and the average, which is not tremendous. The average is just between what Tua and these other two guys are, Tannehill and Teddy.
Yeah.
That's
All right.
a little shocking.
Yeah, but then,
I would have expected Josh's numbers to be a little higher.
Well, when you look at the overall package and he's running the ball, for a lot of yards and touchdowns, and he's winning and he's throwing way more touchdowns, he's getting it where it counts,
No, I get that. I get it.
All right. Deshaun Jackson's back in the league, by the way, too. He's on a practice squad for the
Ravens.
Did they have some injuries or something? Is that?
Yeah, that's one of those teams that proverbially seems to have trouble with receivers. If you remember last year, Deshaun Jackson went to the Rams, and he was there for a little while before they cut him.
He went to the Raiders before that, though, too, right?
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, he was a Raider for a little bit. Right after the Ruggs situation, they picked him up, and then he ended up the season with the Rams. He's always good for a couple bombs if they bring him up somehow.
Just a couple bombs.
Yeah, and then there'll be a hamstring injury.
Yeah, I mean, the term boom or bust player I think was born with him.
Yeah, earlier in his career he was a little more solid. Yeah, and the saddest part about Tua, dude, and not being well, we don't know, maybe he will live up. Dude, who do you know in the NFL that we just know by? That's not even his full name. That's like a shortened version of his name. One word. People just refer to him as Tua. Who else is there in any sport?
Tom.
No. That's only amongst Tom cockpullers. But I guess.
What about AB?
Those are initials. Okay, yeah. I guess. KG back in the day.
OBJ.
But those are all initials. I don't know if I'm considering that. Like, who else do we just call by one name? First name. Shortened first. It's called a mononym. It's a name composed of only one word.
A mononym?
I'm not saying that right, but yes, that's what it is.
Mononym.
There's also a polynym, which is a word that refers to one of many names for a person or object. I guess I remember Barry Sanders. A lot of people would just say Barry. Deion Sanders. Well, Bo was one. You would just say Bo, right?
Yeah, definitely that one.
Dion, you would just say Dion.
Yeah.
But who right now? Zoe. Remember Zoe?
Yep.
You would just say Zoe. Everybody knew who you were talking about. Usually people are really good when you just refer to them by one name. Tua is because nobody knows how to fucking say his whole name. I think that's the thing. It's not
Yeah.
necessarily because he's great. They just don't know how to say his fucking name. But it would be cool if he got great just because he has that one name that you referred to him as. All right, guys. Anything else before we get the fuck out of here?
Did we follow a script?
Tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, we sort of did. We did the picks. I wanted to talk about Dahmer because, I know you had finished watching it, and I knew Tank was watching it. I had this Tua stuff that we talked about. I mean, I have a few other things, but I think we're 2 hours in. I don't think we need to. I had some Kanye stuff. He's fucking off the rails.
It seemed like the music didn't play, and then we immediately started talking.
The music didn't play?
It played a little bit.
Okay. I'm having issues. What can I say? Maybe I need Kanye West. Oh, here I got some anonymous guys here. And they're not all in the sports world, but like Madonna, Cher, Prince. In baseball, Babe. The Babe, I think, would be more the way. By the way, there's flesh-eating bacteria. This is another note. Now I'm squeezing in more things that you asked if we follow a script. There's flesh-eating bacteria in the water from the hurricane. So I don't think this needs to be said, but don't go in the fucking standing still water. I diss Bezos. I'll tell his wife, I'll give her ex-wife, Scott McKenzie. She just gave $80 million to the Girl Scouts. So that was pretty cool.
That's a lot of cookies.
Yep. Speaking of cookies and shit that makes us fat, some McDonald's will now sell Krispy Kreme donuts. Just in case we're not fucking getting fat enough and fucking killing ourselves enough. Here's this. You want some fucking donuts too while you're at it, dude, for dessert? Even though you just ate 1,500 calories in your fucking Big Mac and fries and Coke. Here's another fucking 1,000 in fucking donuts. So
I gotta say, I really like Krispy Kreme donuts.
They're better than Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, they almost like melt in your mouth, dude.
If I could say that.
My favorite one is the Bavarian. Is it Bavarian? Is the white cream?
It's Bavarian.
Okay. Calm the fuck down, dude. But there's one with yellow and there's one with white.
Right. One is a Boston cream and the other is a Bavarian.
I used to be Boston cream until I fucking discovered the Bavarian cream.
Until you realized that you were rooting for Boston.
Until I realized no, seriously, I was like, fuck, I didn't like that it was called Boston, but I still ate it. And then I had one of those Bavarian cream ones, and I was like, oh my God, this is the shit. And I just love those, dude. Those are my absolute fucking favorite. Unfortunately, my son likes them too, so whenever she brings like a fucking thing, he like houses all the fucking Bavarian cream ones. Oh, by the way, there's a new comic book. The Avengers are urging everybody to get their booster shots. So check out that comic. That's fucking hilarious, dude. I can't believe they have the Avengers peddling booster shots.
I heard the new The Rock's rendition of the DC guy is taking a beating.
Black Adam.
Yeah.
It's not doing well at the box. It just started.
They're really tearing it up.
As far as Rotten Tomatoes goes and shit like that?
Yeah, like critically, yeah.
Can we look at those numbers real quick? Let me tell you, I'm a DC guy. I'm not a Rock guy anymore. And I'm secretly happy about it.
But I could see where, like, critics say that movie sucks and it does well at the box. Isn't that like The Rock's MO? Shitty movies that do well?
Yes, because most people watching movies are idiots.
Yeah.
Which I guess is most of the population. Dude, my business has thrived from that genre, but I gotta tell you, that's enough, dude. Let's move on
super
to some
saturated, right?
other type of movies, dude. They're not even original ideas. They're stories taken from the comic books already, dude. Like, come on, man. Let's go somewhere else. We don't need how many Avengers movies do we need? How many? And DC doesn't even know how to do it. At least Marvel like keeps it in the universe, and like, DC is just a disaster. I've had enough of either one of them. I don't, that's enough. Let's move on. How's it doing, Tank? 38 rotten, something like that.
Oh, I thought you guys were looking for the amount of money. Let me go.
No, I wanted to. I think it's a little early for the money. Maybe they'll have some numbers over the weekend, but I guess there's reviews already in. Is what the bum was talking about. That's not surprising at
It's
all.
42%.
Oh my god! I almost fucking nailed that. I wonder what the average is. Do they show you like all his movies? Maybe what the average is on his. Like what else has he done recently? And what, like, he did that one with the riverboat or some shit.
The Jungle Cruise.
Jungle Cruise. There you go. He did like one with Kevin Hart.
Did he do Shazam?
No, he was not in Shazam. Shazam is actually this guy's nemesis, Black Adam, but I don't know if he's in the movie. I'm kind of getting a little tired of Kevin Hart too. I like the more.
Jungle Cruise was 63%.
That's a Disney movie, right?
It's definitely a Disney ride.
The thing is about Disney is there's a very ardent fucking fan base behind anything Disney.
He was in Shazam.
Who was in Shazam?
The Rock.
Really?
Yeah, it's under his filmography.
Oh, wow. So maybe they were setting this up already? I don't remember him in that movie.
I never saw it, so I couldn't tell you.
That movie wasn't that bad. It's more like a kid's movie. The kids liked it.
It seems to me that all of The Rock's movies are kids' movies.
But I don't remember him at all in that movie. Who does he play in that thing? Shazam is great because it's a kid who becomes this dude that has all the powers of, Solomon, Hercules, Zeus, and all that. He says the word and he becomes this fucking guy, but he's still like a little kid inside.
So when I was a boy, on the Saturday night or Saturday morning cartoons, they had Shazam.
You guys had TV back then?
Yeah, and it was an old guy in a camper in an RV with Billy Batson traveling around. And when he wanted to become Shazam, he'd go into this cave and he'd see all of the, like, Zeus and Mercury and all that. And they'd talk to him, but they were cartoons and he was like real.
Now, if they're running around in a camper, they always got to go back to the cave so he can do this?
It was sort of like he would teleport himself to that.
Okay.
So it wasn't like it's not like they had to drive to the cave.
Yeah. Okay, that would be a plot hole then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, actually, I think Shazam is the oldest, and I don't know if it's this incarnation that you're talking about. It may have been a previous one. He's the oldest live action superhero show or whatever. Shazam he predates Superman and he predates everybody else.
And Shazam used to be confused back then with Captain Marvel.
Yes, because he was known as Captain Marvel, but then Marvel had some sort of lawsuit against them to use that name, and then to further confuse things, they themselves created their own Captain Marvel, who was a dude, and then in these new movies, it's a woman, Carol Danvers, who portrays the Captain Marvel. It's a clusterfuck, and I believe even Shazam floated between imprints in different companies other than DC, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm not a comic book expert by any stretch of the imagination. But Shazam's a pretty interesting one. But dude, that's enough, dude. Come on, how many of these fucking things? There's not even that many movies being put out per year. you know, and a good percentage of them are part of these universes or
I saw
comic book
that
related.
they're coming out with Wakanda.
Yes. I thought the first one was cool,
I did.
but now without that guy, I don't know, dude. That's gonna
But
be
the
weird.
first one came out like how many years ago? Like 6?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm done with it, man. I really am.
I don't know. Like,
Just like Star Wars.
but
I
there's
can't do
people
it.
that. Oh no, that I'm still. See, I'm an idiot. I will still watch all that. I guess I am that for them, but I mean, we haven't got. How many MCU movies has there been? 30? 40? I don't know. And there's a big percentage of people who, no matter what, they're watching every single one, and no matter what, almost they love every single one. And yes, they'll argue and whatever, but they want more, and they can't wait for the next one. And oh my god, Deadpool is gonna be in the in the universe, and oh my god, Wolverine is coming back. What's this guy's name?
Hugh Jackman.
Jackman.
Hugh Jack. Oh my god, it's like they won the lottery because Hugh Jackman's coming back to portray Wolverine now with the other guys. You know, oh my god, I don't know. It's kind of disgusting. I don't know. I think in general, I get bored of things when they get too big. I like, hey, easy, buddy. I like when things are a little more underground. You know, like I love The Rock when he was in fucking wrestling, just fucking talking about Poontang Pie and shove that son of a bitch sideways straight up your ass. Like he would never even say that nowadays. Now he's like all PC. Kevin Hart is another. Like they've become corporations. These guys. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Kevin Hart is just like, you know, I love everybody. You know, it's. I don't know. They become.
That old Michael Jordan saying, right? Republicans buy my shoes too.
Yeah, but he would almost not be involved.
When they would ask him to make a political statement or take a stance.
Yeah. But these guys will, depending on what is most beneficial to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the difference. I almost respect more Jordan's stance where he's like, you know what? I'm not, you know what? I'm not getting involved. I play basketball, dude. That's what I do. I'm not gonna, you know. These dudes become like corporations, and I don't know. And if you look at some of their early work, it wasn't like PC stuff, you know, that they were doing. All right. Oh, but you know who's gangster about it though? Like Tom Cruise. He doesn't give a fuck. He just goes and he makes a fucking movie and he makes a shitload of money. And like then he'll go do his crazy fucking shit. And you don't really see that guy doing too many fucking interviews. You don't see that guy fucking talking about causes and shit. Who else is like that? Like fucking superstar that they still keep the fucking like mystique about them, right? They're not out there like over fucking exposing themselves, you know? He just comes out every once in a while, fucking drops a blockbuster, and it fucking usually makes a shitload of money. Leo, maybe?
Yeah.
Pitt, maybe? Even though those guys are doing the social causes a lot. They'll do that shit a lot. All right. I think we're ready to get the fuck out of here, gentlemen. I have run out of material, unless you have anything else. All she wrote?
Yeah.
Any closing words?
Closing words would be, I hope Tua makes it healthy through the game, and we could pull off a win on Sunday night and start turning this thing around. Hey, Ross is back, dude. Maybe that's what we needed, to start turning this thing around. So
my closing words are, yeah, my freezer broke. And that smell is pork chops that went bad.
my family sent me some
Some
Pork
meat.
yeah, and it's gone bad.
Yes.
All right. If you thought the music was bad on the intro, wait till you hear it going out, because this is just strictly on my phone here.
I hear that a lot. It's usually worse going out.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out, fellas. We'll see you next time. Can you even hear that?
Yep.